Vegas Video Network Studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip. It's Top of the Food Chain. And now your host, he's 1 part Mohawk, 2 parts attitude, and a touch of what the f***. It's Al Mancini.
I can never get too much of that. I really can't. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to Top of the Food Chain. I am your host. If I played basketball, I think my name would be Dennis Rodman, but I'm only a foodie, so my name is Al Mancini. I watched a Rodman thing on TV last night. I think I subconsciously stole his hair. Anyway, welcome to Top of the Food Chain. You are hopefully watching live on the Vegas Video Network, your source of all things cool and hip about Las Vegas. And then Scott. But anyway, Top of the Food Chain is just one of our many shows. I urge you to check them all out at vegasvideonetwork.com. You can find them all at iTunes. You can see them on YouTube. We are all over the place. We're on Roku. We're everywhere. And you can hear us pre-recorded every Friday night at KSHP AM. That's 1400 AM. If you're listening on the radio right now and you have a question for a future show, dial us up at 1-866-966-4599. And you can tell how old I am because I put the 1 in front of that. Everybody's got a cell phone today, Al. You don't have to say that. Anyway, in the meantime, if you're watching us live, which I hope you are, we're talking vodka today. Get in the chat room. Anything you have to say about vodka, things you've done on vodka that you don't remember, we love those stories. Get in the chat room. And if you have a question for a future show, you can email it to us at food@vegasvideonetwork.com. As I said, we are talking vodka today. We're going to get this show started in just a second. But first, I must ask Scott, how the heck are you, my brother?
Well, sir, I've been a busy little beaver preparing for other shows. We're going to be at G2E next week, big gaming convention. We're doing some stuff for our company there. So just busy, staying out of trouble, getting ready to learn about vodka.
Good, good. Well, and probably drink a little after the show?
If all goes as planned.
If all goes as planned.
What you been doing?
It's been a crazy week, man. I mean, great week for foodies. If you, just being a foodie in this town, a lot of times people complain that
the shot of you is hysterical.
Just surrounded by vodka. Hello, can I get out from behind the vodka? Should I move a little bit?
What's the show about, Al?
Yeah, right. Hey, man, it's always better. Looking at vodka is always better than looking at my face, as far as I'm concerned. But no, man, it's been a great week for foodies. A lot of chefs in town that you don't see in town all the time. Who was it? Jose Andres was in town for a few days this weekend, and it was cool just being around his restaurant and seeing a lot of his fans just show up and notice, oh my God, he's actually here, and posing to have their picture taken with him. He's gone, guys, but I think you've still got time to catch Michel Richard, who is also in town. He comes in about every 3 weeks. He's over at Caesar's Palace. So, yeah, great week for foodies. Great week for rock and roll. Did you catch any shows, Scott?
Oh, no. I want to ask you a question about chefs. Is there a chef that you have not met yet that you want to meet?
I haven't met Thomas Keller. I would really like to meet Thomas Keller. I've met his brother many, many times, but never him. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there are quite a few. I don't think I've ever met Wiley Dufresne in person. I'd like to meet him. Yeah, there are a few. Definitely a few.
Cool.
I haven't met everyone. Of the ones that are here in Las Vegas, though, I think I've met, other than Thomas Keller, I've met just about all the ones that I would love to meet.
What was the rock and roll thing that you saw some shows?
Well, I actually didn't see any. I was wondering if you did. The iHeartRadio concert was in town. I thought I was getting credentialed for that, and then at the last minute I got canceled. And then Elton John kicked off his tour.
Yeah.
And we got Justin Timberlake and all those guys in town. So I was just wondering if you caught any of the shows.
None of the shows. We might go out to the golf thing on Saturday and kind of sniff around a little bit.
JT?
Yeah, maybe bump into JT, do a little duet with him. I'm a singer.
Yeah, not exactly my thing, golf. I figure, as George Carlin once said, if you hit the ball and you chase it all the way and you find it, you should pick it up and go home and be glad you found it. Don't hit it again. So anyway, the reason we are here today, Scott, did you have it marked on your calendar, October 4th? What is marked down on your calendar?
Go to G2E. It's not going to be a happy day.
You were going to have to tell them that it is National Vodka Day.
What?
Yes, October 4th, next Tuesday, National Vodka Day.
Perfect.
And, I'm not really a devout vodka drinker, but, like many of my Jewish friends, I celebrate the High Holy Days. And National Vodka Day is definitely one of the high holy days for us vodka drinkers. So for those of you out there that are not quite prepared, We've got 2 bartenders today. Yes, 2, because last week we had no bartenders. Today we've got 2. We're going to have one of them up in just a second. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of vodka and what vodka actually is. And then we're going to bring somebody else in, and we're going to give you guys some home vodka cocktail making tips. So I don't really see any reason to wait. I think we should just cut to that. What do you think, Scott?
Let's take a break and bring on our first guest.
Here we go. Cheers.
Hi, this is Scott Pritchard from Let's Bet. You're watching the Vegas Video Network. It's Vegas Video Network, not .com. You're not using this one, right? Don't you dare use this one.
And we are back at the Vegas Video Network with Top of the Food Chain. I'm your host, Al Mancini, and joining me today is Jennifer.
How you doing?
One of my mixologist friends here in town. Really, knowing chefs is nothing. It's really about knowing the bartenders.
Bartenders.
You know, it's cool. Where you work? You work around town? You work any place in particular right now?
I've worked at a few of the nightclubs. Right now I'm working for Stevie D Properties, bartending.
Cool. So we want to talk vodka. How popular is vodka in the local clubs? Where's it rank compared to other
Definitely one of the top selling beverages. Wow, vodka is mixed with anything, everything. I mean, people, your go-to brands, you know, your vodka Red Bulls, your vodka martinis, vodka Cokes, vodka cranberries.
How many brands of vodka do you carry in one of your bars?
Oh boy, every establishment I've been at's been different, but wow, a handful.
Yeah.
A handful.
I mean, more
Anywhere
than a
from
dozen?
flavored. Oh yeah.
Yeah, more than 50? I mean, is 50
Easily.
unreasonable? Easily more than 50.
Easily. And especially if you carry one brand. I mean, for example, if you're going to carry Sky vodka, you're probably going to carry all the flavors with it, 3 olives, things like that.
So let's talk first. Vodka goes back to when? I mean, it goes back thousands of years, right?
It goes back a ways. I think the first recorded vodka, if I can remember correctly,
Not that we need an exact year. I'm just saying it's been around a while. It's not something new.
definitely like as early as the 9th century, probably earlier than that. Somewhere in Poland, I believe, it was recorded.
Russia and Poland, I think, were both the 2 first countries to have vodka.
Right.
And yeah, but it doesn't really have a definition, as we were talking about earlier. It's not really made with just one thing, right?
No, it can be, vodka can be made anything with, anything that's fermentable. Grapes, apples, wheat, rye, grains.
And then I guess the difference between, say, a vodka would be that you take it right out of being fermented, and then you put it in the bottle, basically. You don't put it in a barrel and age it like you would with a whiskey, right? Is that the basic deal?
Right.
And you actually brought a great example of that because, you know, rye is usually made into a whiskey, and yet we have a aged rye, pure distilled rye right here, and it's a vodka, right?
Right, Chopin, which normally is a potato vodka, and I just discovered this a couple months ago, but they're making a rye vodka.
Yeah, so it just goes to show, you know, vodka can be made out of pretty much anything and comes from just about everywhere, right?
Yep, oh yeah.
Vodka, when you're drinking vodka, everybody likes to compare what vodka's better and what's worse. What's it supposed to taste like?
Vodka, I believe, was originally it's described as odorless, colorless. That was the purpose for it. I mean, shouldn't promote it, but if you want to go for a business meeting, have a couple of drinks, vodka be your drink to go to.
Yeah, there used to be an old slogan like, you know, they won't smell it on your breath or something, right? And thank you, old-timey marketing guys. I appreciate that. So it's not supposed to really have any taste. It's supposed to be how smooth it is.
Right.
And that's kind of weird because you've got a vodka here made with coconut, but it doesn't taste like coconut? That's what you're telling me?
No, it's distilled through coconut to help smooth it out.
And that is?
This one's a grape vodka.
No, okay, here we go.
The Vivid.
Okay, so we've got Vivid here. Now this is just to talk about how they not supposed to have any taste. I'm going to take a little sip of this. Okay. Plus, we're starting the show. And there we go, cheers. Just a little bit. So again, the reason I bring this up is because vodkas, no matter whether they're made with grape, like this Ciroc over here, or whether they're made out of grain and then run through coconut, you would think this would taste a little grapier, and you would think this would taste like coconut. But here you go. All you can really smell there is that it smells like alcohol, right?
Yep.
No smell of coconut, nothing sweet in there. And yeah, absolutely, really no taste. Would you like some?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, you're working tonight. So let's run through a few of the countries that you brought us vodka from.
Ciroc, this one is made with grapes. It's from France. I believe it's mait with an Uni Blanc grape and a can't pronounce the other one.
And this is P. Diddy's, right?
I believe it was first couple of years before he started marketing that is when I believe it was started to be produced.
And right up here in front, this is a traditional Russian vodka, right?
Right, Russian Standard.
Russian Standard. And so, again, this is one of either the first 1 or 2 countries that vodka ever came from.
Right,
Russia and Poland. So this is, you're getting the real thing here.
Yep.
And we've got American vodkas, of course. This Vivid that I just tried is an American vodka, and that's the one that tastes very clean but was filtered through coconuts. And we've got them, you get them from all over the world. I guess that's the point.
Definitely.
And they're pretty much going to taste, they should taste the same, though. So why do people have preferences as to what vodkas they drink?
I think that has to do with your palate. It's the same as people that like a dry wine as opposed to, your Cabernets or your Merlots. It's people pick up different flavors out of them.
Right. And I guess even water is all supposed to taste the same, but every brand of water really tastes a little different, right? So is there any truth to the fact that originally vodka was really marketed to women here in America?
I don't remember that. I'm probably going to go with yes on that one. I mean, it sounds right.
Today, do you have more men or more women ordering vodka drinks?
I'd say that's pretty even.
Pretty even?
Pretty even.
Okay, so you've come a long way, gentlemen. Scott, do we have a question on the chat line?
Yeah, actually, it was a question that I had as well. Way to go, Bill. Is there a smooth versus tart vibe in vodka like there is in gin? For example, Tanqueray is real tart, whereas, say, Bombay is kind of a smooth gin. Does vodka have the same kind of flavor differences or no?
I've never really noticed that. I think really, again, like we say, you may pick up certain things in water, where it's all the same. But no, I don't really think that there's an across the board that one is trying for that. I think when vodkas are judged in competitions, they're judged for not having any taste to them. I mean, that's what the judges are going for the most part. Now, smoothness, yes, it should be smooth. It should go down smoothly. It shouldn't have a kick to it. Again, I think that's why it was marketed to women originally.
Easy to go down? I would say yeah on that. I mean, as opposed to like a harsh taste. No, gins are completely different though in flavoring than your vodka would be.
Right. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever done because flavored vodkas, flavor-infused vodkas are kind of all the rage right now.
Right.
As a matter of fact, what are some of the craziest flavors that you've seen out there?
The more popular ones?
I just saw truffle-flavored vodka in a store the other day. Yeah, they actually use it in their Bloody Marys right next door here at the Barrymore, which is strange. But do you guys have anything crazy?
We've got the normal citron. I mean, I've seen bubblegum flavored.
Okay, that's a little weird. With the girls, though. Really? I've never heard of that before. So.
3 olives bubblegum, yep.
Really?
Well, women love that for shots. Let's see. Crazy? I don't know. They're becoming so much more popular. I mean, when you see another one pop up, it's just kind of like another flavor. At first, it was kind of different. But I mean, you got root beer flavors, dragonberry or dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit? Well, that's
a different
good
one.
Fruit. Yeah, very cool. Who makes that?
Sky. That one.
Cool.
Stoli actually makes a really good one. It was like a strawberry chocolate. That one's like dessert in a jar.
Wow. Scott, another question.
Yeah, the Mad Media Group has a question that I think is about, can you get cheaper as the night goes on? Is it true that after the 3rd vodka, you can't tell the difference in taste anymore? In other words, can I start expensive and go cheap? That's the night continues.
That's the truth about everything. Right? That goes all the way back to the Bible when they were talking about turning the water into the wine, and they said you're supposed to have the cheap wine at the end, but Jesus brought out the good wine at the end. But yeah, once you get a little liquored up, guys, of course you can always go cheaper, but you're not going to impress the chicks. Right? I mean, not you. I'm saying you're always watching guys try to pick up chicks, right? If they go with cheaper vodka,
You'd be surprised what you see.
Yeah, really. Have you ever infused, or have the bars you worked at do the infusing of your own vodkas?
We started to one casino I worked at. I didn't really get a chance to partake in experience in that, but that was going to be in the works of infusing certain vodkas with flavors and things like that.
Okay, so do you know how long it takes? Like if I wanted to do that at home, if I want to just throw a bunch of fruit into a vodka, any clue? That's okay. You don't have to know.
That one, I'm definitely, I don't have an answer on that one.
I just thought if you've seen it happening in the, what, you just want me to move the bottle? Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Which one? This one? Okay. Just move it over here. Scott is hand signaling me. I thought he's saying, give me a shot of vodka. That's what I really thought it was. Move this one as well. We're buried in a forest of vodka. Okay, so we spoke about that. What are some of your favorite? We're going to have somebody come out and make drinks, but what are some of your favorite drinks to make with vodkas?
You know, it's funny. People ask me that all the time, and it really depends on my mood. I like liquor, so it depends. I mean, beer, vodkas, rums, it depends. But for vodkas, to make, I like it sometimes when a lot of bartenders hate it, surprise me. But it's always good when you give them a category. Well, do you normally like something strong? Do you want something sweet? Because at least you have a category, you can kind of mix something together, as opposed to if something drinks whiskey, and you make them something sweet, they're not going to like it. So sometimes if I'm not busy or creative, I like to see what I can whip up, see if they like it.
I was told I'm going to be entering a contest on coming up with a new vodka drink. It's going to kick off maybe in a few weeks, so I'm going to have to come to you for a little help because I have no clue.
Okay.
I just drink it straight, you know. I'm an old-fashioned guy. Well, thank you so much.
No mixings or nothing?
No, usually just throw it back as a shot or something, you know.
That works.
Or sip it, you know, if I want to be classy.
That works.
Well, look, thanks so much for coming down. Thanks for bringing some of these great vodkas. We're going to cut to a quick break, and we're going to have somebody coming up in just a second who is going to be showing you guys how to make some really cool drinks at home. But in the meantime, any place special that they can find you? Or you do not want my people stalking you? She does not want you stalking her, gentlemen out there and ladies. So we're just going to cut to commercial, and we'll be back right after this.
Livestream is your premier place to watch live events on the web, mobile devices, and connected TVs. See new events daily or broadcast your own at livestream.com. Livestream. Be there.
There we are. We had to bring up the mixers. You think I was covered in stuff before. How are you, Tyler?
Clayton.
Clayton.
Yes,
Wow.
Clayton,
Why did I think?
Clayton Tyler.
Clayton Tyler. Sorry about that, man. I was a little discombobulated from that one sip of vodka. And you're beverage manager over at STK Steakhouse.
Yes, sir.
One of my favorite steakhouses here in town because, well, basically, it is the steakhouse with the hottest women here in town. It's kind of the female sexy steakhouse, I would say.
A hybrid steakhouse.
A hybrid steakhouse, kind of part club, part steakhouse.
Mm-hmm. We have a DJ 7 nights a week. Very fun. Cool drinks. Great atmosphere for sure.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is, you know, most of these places kind of feel like if you go into a steakhouse, it's made for a bunch of guys at a bachelor party. When you go into STK, it's more women at a bachelorette party or just groups of women. I mean, and then that brings in the guys.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
The guys don't come in on their own. Before we start about recipes, Scott, you have a question?
Yeah, another one. This is interesting. John Mischief asked, California just legalized home-infused vodkas in bars. Are there any other states where this is illegal?
Illegal to have home-infused vodkas in bars?
I've never heard of that being a bad thing. I know different states have different regulations on distilling and what you can do at home.
But I've always seen, but I mean, I assume what he's talking about there, Scott, is when you go into a bar and you see the big jar of vodka and there's a bunch of pineapples sitting in it? Is that what he's talking about?
I don't know. I'll ask him on the chat while we're going on here.
Okay, but I would assume if that's what he's talking about, the bar infusing their own vodkas.
That would not be illegal, no.
I've never known of it to be illegal anywhere. I mean, if you go into, I don't know if you do it in your bar, but I know if, say, Red Square, they've got it all going on behind the bar. They've got the peppers in it. Mm-hmm. And so it's definitely, as far as we know, legal here in Nevada.
To infuse, yeah, we can completely add fruit or make a fun drink with, you know, pineapple and any types of fruits infusions for sure.
Well, you know, it is National Vodka Day is coming up. And so what I was hoping for, yes, let's celebrate the holidays. So I wanted you to run through a couple recipes, maybe mix up a couple drinks for people. I'm going to move a few. You need this one, right? You can start off with that one?
Yeah, we can do one of the drinks that we offer at SDK. It's called Rediscovered Cherry Cosmo is what it is.
Now, a rediscovered Cherry Cosmo. Why is it rediscovered?
So we've you know, just made a modern twist on the Cosmopolitan, a very classic drink. And what I've done here is I've added about ½ ounce of triple sec in the shaker already, and it's going to be 1.5 ounces of Sky Cherry Infusion. Okay, so we'll add this in. Okay. Also, instead of normal cranberry juice, we are going to use white cranberry juice. So a little different color, a little different texture on the palate for sure.
And Cosmopolitan is kind of the classic, like, Sex and the City's chick drink, right? I mean, that's...
But Cosmos can be, you know, you know, if it's made right, a lot of balance. You know, if you've had a few vodkas, maybe this is a drink to go to after, to add some juice to it to make it easier to drink, so you're not having your fourth
Straight vodka
martini.
Oh,
so
yes.
we'll add some fresh lime to that. And the strainer may be right down below you, but if not, we can do it with this.
I do have the strainer right down there. Give me a second, and I will grab it for you.
Thanks, sir.
There you go.
Okay. And then this
So this is all stuff that you can get. I mean, you can get white cranberry juice in your local supermarket, right? No problem there.
And you could even change it up instead of doing cherry. If you're into the other fruits, you know, anything you want to add into this drink, you can kind of, you know, play around, whatever works. And it's just going to be kind of like a breakdown of a Cosmo recipe: ounce and a half of the vodka, the triple sec ounce, half ounce of lime juice, and splash of the white cran. So I'll give you a little taste of this. And the rediscovered cherry Cosmo is what we have here.
And you got a cherry in there.
That's garnished with the Luxardo cherry, yes.
Ooh, Luxardo cherries are good. Could you explain those to people?
So it's a high-end.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I
No
always
worries.
spill these things. Whoa. Okay, so let's sip it. Wow, that's good.
Okay.
Got me nervous. I'm going to drop all my stemware here. I've got so much stuff in front of me. It's really good. The Luxardo cherries again. If you
So
could
it's more like an organic type of cherry. It's pickled compared to like the other cherries that you can't digest. So just a better high-end cherry. We also use them in Not Your Daddy's Manhattan.
What do they soak them in? Is that just whiskey or something that they're soaked in, or do they just plain in cherry juice?
So Luxardo is pickled and sat in sugars and different things like that.
Cool.
So a little sweeter. If you get down to it, we'll taste
Right.
it and tell me what you think, okay? So,
Yeah, you definitely get that heavy cherry flavor down by the end.
okay, so also we'll move on, and what we're going to make is a Moscow Mule. Moscow
This is a
Mule,
classic,
yes,
right? This
yes.
is you'll find this in, if you ever go into places that say they have a good classic cocktail program, they'll very usually have a Moscow Mule on there.
It was the first vodka drink in the United States as a mixer. So the first time they put juice or anything in, they used vodka, ginger beer, and lime juice is what we're going to use here. And with that, we're actually going to use the Russian standard one here.
Okay.
I'll reach across
Grab
there.
that for you.
And we'll use our jigger to make an ounce and a half.
You've got a nice.
Am I in the way?
No, it's the second week in a row I forgot to turn my ringer off on my phone.
Okay.
We are pros here.
And then we're going to use a half ounce of fresh lime again into there. And if you want to crack that open,
Yeah, we
we'll
got
get that.
ginger
beer,
which
yes.
Explain the difference between a ginger ale and a ginger beer. And you're using Goslings right
Goslings,
here.
yes. So it's fresh ginger infused type of non-alcoholic, like a soda, like you said, like a ginger ale.
But it's got little more of a bite to it than a ginger ale.
Exactly.
And you
yes.
could get that definitely at a Lee's or someplace like
yeah,
that.
that was easy. 1 spirit, 1 half lime, and ginger beer, and it's a refreshing, crisp, classic cocktail. If you want to try that.
And then you drink this out of a very, very cool mug. Check
Yes.
that out. So what's that, copper?
Copper mug, yes.
I've had Moscow Mules quite a few times, and that's probably one of the better ones I've ever had.
Real crisp and refreshing, right?
Really nice. Yeah, it's a good summertime drink. I mean, and I know for the rest of the country, summertime's ending, but here in Vegas, we're still at 98 degrees, so this is a good 98-degree drink. Where do you get these could you show that to people?
The copper mug here.
Yeah, the copper mug.
So it's sponsored by Russian Standard, and they'll supply you with the mugs if we do carry and support them and pour it in that drink.
Cool.
So it's Russian Standard vodka there.
Great. Scott, do we have another question?
Yeah, Nate wants to know why a copper mug.
I think, we try to look into this situation, and we couldn't really find a real answer to it, but we believe that this is what they had back in the day, so they've carried the tradition on. And, it keeps it cold, keeps it frosty, but it's been around for ages, and we know that. So we looked into it, and we could not find the exact answer, but it was around back in the 1920s when this cocktail was made. Okay?
And we don't know if we probably go to Russian Standard's website. We probably could buy some for home. I would be willing to bet in this day and age. So so those are two. Again, I'd say with the Cosmo, that's kind of a nighttime cocktail you drink. With the Moscow Mule, that's something that I'm thinking when you're hanging out on the balcony, in the nice night,
Pool, the pool's great for it.
Really cool. Yeah, it's definitely, when you're sweating a little bit outside in nature, that's just a really refreshing drink to kind of cool you down.
Exactly, yeah.
And what do you have? One more to make, right?
One more, yes. And we did this for AFAN, and this was a special event that Vivid sponsored.
So
And it's a cocktail they did. All right, and it's equal parts of this, and I believe the Chambord's down there as well. Al, if you'll hand me the Chambord.
There we go, Chambord.
So
Could you explain to people what Chambord is?
That is a raspberry flavored liqueur.
It comes in a very cool. You'll always be able to recognize it. And where is that made? Do you know?
I'm not 100% on the Chambord here of where it's made. I want to say that it is a French item. So we're going to do
With
equal
the name,
parts.
I would guess France, but just one. I never want to assume anything. So just equal parts Chambord, and then and we've got the Vivid vodka.
And then we're going to top it with some soda water just to kind of give it like a fun twist on the drink and real refreshing and clean again as well. So we'll get this going here.
But definitely, the Chambord is going to give it a little fruity.
Raspberry,
raspberry.
yes. Raspberry flavor for sure. We'll shake this up.
Get that out of your way, move that over.
And then the lemon twist. The twist is to get the fruit zest from the twist. So we'd want to do a lemon twist on it, just to add something else to balance out the cocktail.
So now you say you're going to top it with the soda water. Do you actually? I mean, does it mix in, or does it sort of sit on top like
it's just going to sit on top, just like
on top
that,
because of the
about a half
temperature?
ounce.
You want to hold that up and show people
Sure.
the way that it kind of
And
sits
this is
there?
the AFAN Teeny for AIDS of Nevada that Vivid did there.
And I'll let you take a sip of that because
sure.
I've been drinking. See, it's something about those glasses. They make everybody's hand shake. It wasn't just mine, man. I'm always getting worried that I'm going to spill. And, you know, some bartenders, you always think you're being nice when you order a martini. And it's all the way to the end, and I got to, like, drink it off the bar like that before I can lift it up. You know, the lemon twist. One of these days I want to have a bartender in here and just go through how to prepare garnishes. How hard is it to make a little lemon twist at home, man?
And there's two ways of doing that, actually. One would be, you know, some restaurants will do twist to order, so they actually have the fresh peeler, which is nice. Maybe not a high-volume restaurant or nightclubs that Vegas has to deal with. And then also you have to break down the lemon, you know, basically gut it, and then clean it and get the rinds out as well. So
I want to talk about the vodka martini. For people that are out there, it's probably one of the most popular drinks, definitely the most popular martini, I would guess, out there. Isn't it just a really big shot of vodka for the most part?
And, you know, the classic way of making it was adding the vermouth. So we would add a dry vermouth to it. So we have steered away from that. And we're going to get that out of the way. Okay. Cool. And then just touching on what you had spoke about earlier, you know, some of the vodkas, what kind of gives the palate a different taste to them is what they're made out of. So you have potato, so that's going to give a different one than a grain or something like that. So depending on the vodka is how it will change the taste. Not big swing of taste, but depending on the vodka and what it's made from will add characters to the vodka.
Even though it's supposed to be neutral, there are still characteristics that they're drawing from that.
Exactly.
So it's totally wrong when I said they should all be
Well, not
tasteless.
totally wrong, but they are all, you know, that's what they're going for.
No, that's why I have experts in, because, you know, I just drink the stuff, but you guys work with it.
So depending on what the base is and then how it's distilled, if it's pot distilled, if it's copper distilled, going into each vodka will change the palate on it.
Speaking of distilling, you brought a vodka over here, right? And we're going to hold this up. Again, there's not much to see except that it's in a really cool shaped vodka. But you were telling me before we started, tell people what this is and exactly how it's distilled, which apparently is something pretty unique.
It is. So it's Purity vodka. It's a Swedish vodka. 5 times distilled, so they'll do it over and over and over again just to get almost everything out of it.
That's just getting it smoother and smoother and smoother every time.
No botanicals, meaning some of the lower end vodkas, it's like a lubrication on it. So if you drink it, it doesn't burn as much. So that they don't have that. So you'll have a little less of a hangover if you drink a lot of that vodka.
Right. But it will burn more going down.
And they'll distilled it, but they use that copper distilled to get rid of that. So it's a high-end vodka that's new, one that I like for sure.
Okay, so they're using a copper distillery, and that's what makes this one
compared
really
to pot or other things.
Right. Now, you know, I asked our other guests, but I'm asking you: is vodka more of a male or a female drink these days?
I think it's swung to neutral, and it's the
you
neutral,
agree?
neutral spirit, and it's meant for mixology and for, you know, straight up if you'd like to do it in any way. So a lot of things you can play around with vodka for sure.
Another question, Scott?
Yeah, the Bad Media Group wants to know, what was the name of the Cosmo, the original Cosmo you created?
The rediscovered Cherry Cosmo.
There we go.
Okay.
There's a little cherry right down there
And
in
why
the
don't you
bottom.
go ahead and list off the ingredients?
The ingredients, so it's 1.5 ounces of the cherry vodka, anything you want to do, ounce of triple sec, 1/2 ounce of white cranberry, and then you're going to do a 1/2 ounce lime wheel on that, lime wedge.
Okay. I'm trying to think what, I had a bunch of vodka questions for you. Now they all kind of, oh, a dirty martini, I want to run through these things, means not only the olives, but olive juice, right?
Yes,
And extra dirty, we would have, you know, a lot of olive juice in there. Are vodka martinis meant to be drank with olives, or lemon twist just as acceptable? Or you wouldn't do one with onions, would you? Or I guess you do.
That's
sometimes.
called a Gibson, actually.
That's a Gibson.
My last name, Gibson. So
Okay.
it's a classic cocktail. And you add an onion, and really just what you like. The twist will add more of the fruit oils to the drink. The olives were put in there as to have a garnish, and then what olives are put in is vinegar. So you're just adding vinegar flavor to the dirty martini. But you know, I enjoy a dirty martini every once in a while, and I think it's a very popular drink for sure.
How important is it when you're making a martini of any form? And I don't see you doing it with other drinks, but it's always done, a lot of people do it with a martini, just kind of put the ice in it and put the water in it, and the glass get cold and then throw it out. Does that really add a lot to the drink, do you think? Or is that just like chilling a mug for a beer?
Well, when you add water to a spirit, it really opens it up, and it takes the alcohol burning sensation out of it. So even if I were going to sit down with a vendor and taste vodkas, I would taste it first, and then I would add water to it to get that how I would taste it on the rocks or for mixing with that, because it takes the alcohol sensation away and the burning sensation away by watering it down.
And because in a lot of whiskeys, you'll almost want to add just a drop or two.
Exactly. Scotches, one rock will open it up.
Right.
Get, you know, not
and you
so
can get flavors out of it that way too. Will you pull the flavors out of a vodka, or is it more to stop the burning?
Exactly. Same thing. You'll look at spirits all the same way for adding a little bit of water to that.
And we have another question, Scott.
Yeah, I think our last question here is from Nate. He wants to know, how about a vodka-based drink that is your secret favorite, something off the beaten path?
So for me personally, vodka-based drink, I would even say a Cosmo. You know, if they're made right, they're great. You know, if you use the fresh lime, the juice, the balance of it is a great cocktail. You know what I mean? I don't really have a favorite. Vodka soda, you know, stay hydrated.
Vodka's also,
you know?
Yeah. Vodka's really good for use in kind of dessert drinks, right? That always seems, you know, when you get those really sweet drinks, vodka seems to be the best spirit for that.
Espresso martini, you know, you can do a Van Gogh style vodka with fresh chilled espresso, Baileys, you know, you can do stuff like that. A lot of dessert drinks for that too.
Okay, well, I think we have talked about just all we can about the wonders of vodka. The most basic spirit probably out there, other than maybe grain alcohol, but the most basic spirit out there, and yet the most, you know, one of the most popular and available from every country, made with just about everything from grapes to potatoes to whatever. It's kind of, if you can find something with starch or with rice with sugar in it and starch, you can pretty much make a vodka.
Exactly, right.
So, well, thanks a lot, man. Thanks to both of my guests. And they can find you at STK,
yes,
right? One of the coolest steakhouses in town. Also where my buddy Stephen Hopcraft is the chef, one of the great chefs here in this town. Thank you guys very much. I want to thank everybody for coming. Me, in the meantime, next week is going to be fun. Next week we are finally going to be talking about truffles. And so there won't be a lot of booze up here, but there will be about $1 million worth of fungus up here, which is going to be cool. And it's not coming from my feet, I promise you. That ain't worth nothing. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about truffles. We may make it a double show and also talk about basics of lobsters next week too. But we're definitely going to be doing the truffles. Tune back in. For me, I've got nothing on the schedule for the upcoming week. Of course, my book is still out there, Eating Las Vegas, the 50 Essential Restaurants. I will be out dining and drinking my way around town. Hopefully, I'll bump into some of you guys out there. Thanks.